1, 2, 3, 400 episodes of this show right here, Offside Hockey Talk, in your ears since 2016. First episode was kicking it off from Leafs training camp. This little ditty right here, showed in the video earlier. The credentials for the media, getting to talk to guys like Lou Lamb and Brendan Shanahan, getting yelled at by him, by the way, was absolutely amazing, kind of fun. Just pumped, man, to be on 400. It's summer, though. That's what sucks. There's no league talk. There's no big news. There's nothing happening. But this show did start in September, so before the fall. So it was still going that way. Just want to do a quick shout out to my co-host tonight, Mr. D4, Dylan Fournier. Follow him over on TikTok. And of course, right below me, I think in my screen anyways, it's TO Sports Fan, our buddy Div from our crew, 6 in the 6. We're rocking live tonight across YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. It's crazy. Yes, 400 up, 400 down. Guys, this episode is probably going to be across the map. Everybody commenting. I figured, why not make it interactive? Why not make it fun? Just run around, bunch of different topics. Just keep it rolling. Keep it light. It's the summertime. Nobody's too serious. But get the introductions out of the way. Mr. Dylan Fournier, how is your day going, my friend?
It's well. We're back to the grind of the off season. It is, the dog days of summer right now. Little news coming through, but that's about it. But yeah, other than that, pretty solid. How's Divvy doing?
Doing pretty solid, actually. Just got back from a wedding yesterday from Montreal,
Yes.
So that was interesting.
I saw that.
Ran into a few Habs fans.
Oh.
That's it. It's okay though. I was wearing my Leaf shirt and my hat, so I was kind of asking. I was kind of asking for it, so I had to represent.
Getting ready to get grilled, Mr. Man. I seen a little bit of hate going your way. I would say screw it. Who cares? F the haters, as they say.
Yep.
Man,
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, though. I'm always about, if you can, there we go. Look at that. There you go, TikTok. Have a little fun with that. You can see everybody now. For me, I look at it like this. If you're a fan of a team that was a basement dweller last year, whether you're Ottawa, Arizona, Montreal, you got no room to chirp. You can't chirp. And if you say, I won a cup in 93, dude, how long ago was 93? 93 is so freaking long. I don't even think you two were walking. Maybe not even here. So
was not here.
It was the year my sister was born, but yeah, not me.
See, I'm an 86 baby, so I got to endure it a little bit more. I'm the elder statesman of the show tonight. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. Anybody chirping you, Div, they obviously don't know you, and they're just assholes, so screw them. End of the story. How long ago was 67? We got comments flying over on TikTok.
If that's your best chirp, go back to kindergarten and learn a new one.
It's like they say the same things every time. Like, you got to come up with something new.
Still Leaf fans after this year. Listen, Pete the Heat's in here. Pete, you should be on the show. Pete should be on the damn show. Crazy. Not here, as usual.
Cool on, Pete. What's going on?
No, it's Hollywood. He's Hollywood. He can't be here. But seriously, you look at the Leafs. Yes, I'm always going to be a Leaf fan, no matter what happens in the. I wish I lived in my mom's basement. I'm glad I'm in my own basement, my own house. But hey, cool. If you're in your mom's basement, tip of the cap to that. Oh, okay. He said, how long ago was 93? They're referencing the same thing. All right, we can't play off the talk for it. But listen, if you're chirping from a team from the basement of last year, it don't matter. You don't matter. You're not relevant. You're not in the top 16. You're not there. You weren't in the playoffs. You talk about us not making it past round number 1. You guys didn't even make it to the dance. So get a ticket to the dance and then chirp. That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact. I can't stand some of that bull crap. I mean, we are on TikTok to show the love of our team, not show hate to the rest of the fan base. I know a lot of us play and chirp a little bit, but I've seen TikTok get a little bit out of hand, and it's time for it to kind of stop. I honestly think there's
See,
no
here's the thing,
room
though.
for it.
I see a lot of people over on TikTok or any social media for that matter. And Div, I'll use you as an example. Like, just sometimes I see you get attacked, or I see Dilly get attacked, even Clark. Nice people get attacked. For whatever reason, I haven't gotten to that maybe that stratosphere, I guess, of fandom, because I don't get that. I don't get that crap. Even over on Twitter, I don't get it very much. I get a couple minor like basement dwelling chirps. Oh, you live in your mom's basement, et cetera, et cetera. Those kind of things I get, but I don't get any of the nasty vitriol that some people get. So I'm just I don't get it. Like I don't see it as much. Maybe I don't subscribe to the same things, or maybe don't watch the same videos. I don't know. But it seems for me, everybody on my stuff is pretty even keel. Even the people that are pissed off about the Leafs, I can still have a conversation with them where it doesn't turn into some hate bashing thing, which is weird.
I think it might be our generation, maybe.
Has to be.
You think that's a problem, Divvy?
I think so.
You outspoken bastards.
Well, I don't know. Some people can't take a joke. Some people don't know how to properly give a joke, and some people just push it way too far, and then at the end of it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm just joking." It's like, man, you already pushed it too far. You can't say that now.
No, exactly.
See, the fun thing for me is like and this is great because this is what episode 400 is going to be about. Is just rolling through things that have happened. Like I made a video. I don't know if you guys remember when Brian 5 or 6 was pretty big. He was the Ottawa Senators guy doing the funny videos. So I had made a video. It was March, I think 16th or whatever. So did the whole Austin 316 thing, opening a can of whoop ass. Maple Leafs are going to run through the Senators tonight. All those things. I was just drilling it. Great video, fun time. And it popped off. Many views, Ottawa fans chirping. Brian 5 or 6 got involved and having fun too. But the Leafs got spanked that night. I mean, absolutely spanked when they shouldn't have, but they got spanked. And this is in the Austin Matthews era, but they got spanked. And that was one of the times where the hate was really there and the nastiness. But everybody who commented, that's the only time I can really think of this, but everybody who commented that stuff, all I did was thank them for watching the video. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great day. Hey, if you're picking on me, you're not picking on somebody else. And everything you just said, Dylan, that's what they would say. Oh, man, I'm just playing, just joshing. Just kidding with you, man. Just trying to get under your skin. Or I'm just mad that Ottawa sucks this season, and it's great that we beat the Leafs. Kill them with the kindness a little bit. Just kill them because what are they going to do? Are they going to get mad at you for being nice? Because
why are you so mad? Why are you so happy? I hate people like
that.
Man,
I get that so much. Oh my god! Why are you so positive all the time? Because life is fucking negative, man. Do you watch the news? I'm not gonna come on a video and be like, all right, so tonight the Toronto Maple Leafs are gonna lose to the Ottawa Senators. They're gonna get outshot 50-9, and our goalie is gonna get shelled. Why would I say that? I always get like in my prediction season videos or even on the podcast. Why are you always saying the Leafs are gonna win? Because why would I want them to lose? I just don't get it, man. All right, well let's steer the show back into some actual topics. Nazem Kadri apparently will be a New York Islander. This is very Lou Lamoriello-esque. Waiting to the last moment to announce the deal. That's what he does. Of course, it's Lou. The big thing about this, though, is I've seen everybody talking about what the Islanders need to do, what they need to move off the books to make this work. The problem is you're going to lose a key good player. And what happened the last time that the New York Islanders had to sign someone? What did they end up getting rid of? His name was Devon Toews, and he just won the Stanley frickin' Cup. So they gave up a quality defenseman to get themselves where they need to be under the cap. So now again, they're going to have to move something. But as we all know, I believe it's 23 or 26 of the teams in the NHL have $5 million or less in salary cap to take on money. So do you think those teams that actually still have large amounts of salary cap are just going to say, hey, give us your shitty contract and maybe a C-level prospect and a 4th-round pick, and we'll call it a day? No. Those teams are doing this right now. Because as Elliot Friedman always says, when you need help, teams are not throwing you life preservers. They're throwing you handbills. They are sinking your boat. And this is an opportunity for those teams, mostly basement dwellers. I'm looking at you, Arizona. I'm looking at you, Seattle. They have the opportunity now to take on a high money contract, but get a solid either pick or prospect, because they are now the belle of the ball. Everyone wants to dance with them because they need to take on that salary. I'm talking Toronto. I'm talking Boston. I'm talking the Devils. I'm talking any team that is up against it. Hello, Tampa, $7 million over the cap. They have to dance with these guys now, but these guys are not just going to take the crap and be like, oh, yeah, no problem. Here. Give us a C-level prospect in that 4th-round pick, and we're good for $7 million on our cap. Nope. That's the reason why Kerfoot hasn't moved, ladies and gentlemen. $750 or $750,000, yes, is all he's owed in actual money, but still, 3.5 on a cap is a lot of money on a cap, especially when the cap ain't going up. So if you're a bottom-dwelling team, you're like, hey, you want to give me that contract? I want Toppy Nemela. I want someone in your system that's half decent. That's what it's going to be. But that's going to be the price. You look at it and laugh, but that's what the price is going to be, because these guys are finally in a prime position to basically do what the Vegas Golden Knights did to teams when they came in the league and say, no. We're not going to just give you the space that you so need to do your business. No. Give us something. Otherwise, we're not doing it. And that's why there haven't been movement. That's why there has not been movement. And I know if there's time, use it, but that's why there hasn't been. Div, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I just want some moves to happen. It's been way too long.
It has.
We need some news. Like, forget about just like the Leafs. We need some hockey news. Like, we need something. And I'm going to be real. I haven't been keeping in touch too much with hockey. Because this always happens with me. I always get out of touch because it's so late. It's in the off season. And around September, right before the season starts, 3 weeks before, I really catch up with everything. So sorry if I'm a little bit out of the news. But then again. Yeah, no, seriously, that's exactly how I'm feeling right now. But no, just need some news. That's all I'm saying.
Well, to me, this is news, though. This is the reason why there isn't any news, right?
Yeah.
Because the teams that have the cap space are saying, we're not doing it for cheap. Pay us. And the teams that need to freaking get the space are like, we're not giving you that. And until day one of the season, we all know teams can go over the cap by $8.5 million and be over the cap until day one of the season. So, some teams are going to roll the dice and see what happens right up until that point. Because guess what happens in training camp, guys?
Somebody's going to get injured.
And that gives you a beautiful segue into having the space that you need. And that's why a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs staggered their contracts so well, so they can butt themselves right up against the cap, put a Matt Murray, put a Jake Muzzin, whoever you want on LTIR, and maximize that window space. But the problem is we have not seen what happens when a team is non-compliant. When day one of the season comes and a team is over the cap, there has been no punishment doled out. And if you look through the rules, there is no set in stone punishment. So it's completely up to whatever the league decides at that point. There is no, if you're over by this, or this, you get this, and this, and this. It's never happened. So there is no arbitrary penalty right now. So if you're a team that's up against it, do you just say, fuck it? Pardon my French, guys. But do you? And just say, well, let's see what the fine is. Let's see what the problem is. Is it a draft pick? Is it what? What are we docked? What happens? What are they actually going to do to a team? If there is no actual structured rules in place, can you then take it to an arbitrator and say, well, this wasn't in the rules. It's not written there. So this just came out of thin air what they decided. There's nothing there that says, hey, if you're over the cap on day one of the season, these are the penalties you will face. There's nothing written there. It just says teams must be compliant. So what does it mean? I want to see a team do it. I just do.
I think they should get the we should get the luxury tax for the NHL, because I would love that. I mean, a lot more super teams would be made, but I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know if what Arizona did with the prospects a couple of years ago was like actually written in the books or not. I don't know. I don't know the actual rules, but that was a draft pick. So if somebody does do it, wouldn't be shocked to see a first round draft pick go in this instance if it were to happen. So I don't know. It'd be very interesting to see what actually occurs if somebody's just like, yeah, there's no rule to say how much we get punished right now, so why don't we just see what happens?
And maybe that's what Arizona did with the prospects. I think there is a structured thing there. Sorry, Div, for jumping over you. I'll let you talk in just a sec. But I think that's what Arizona did, right? There was I think, a structure for what you can't do, but there was no definitive fines, right? So, I mean, you roll the dice and see what you get if you get caught. Exactly. What do you think, Div? Where are you at with this one?
If any team's going to do it, I would just laugh if it ends up being Tampa. I kid you not. I would just laugh and just be like, of course they did, because they've kind of messed around with LTIR a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's a lie, a bit. They've done it a ton. I don't know what I'm saying. A bit.
They've done a lot of teams have done it a bit.
But you know what? Honestly, no, back what you were saying before, Dylan, they're definitely losing draft picks. I could definitely see that being an option.
Yeah.
Because that's like, if I'm not mistaken, they do that a lot normally around other leagues, right? So, you know, they'll like strip a team of draft picks in situations like this. That's probably what's going to happen. Other kinds of consequences, who knows? Could be anything. You know what I would like for it to be? I'm so sorry, real quick. You know what I would like for it to be? They can't use a certain player if they're over the cap. That would be, imagine if that was it. You can't use a certain player if you're over the cap. Like, you kind of get what I mean? Imagine you can't use Kucherov, you know, like example for Tampa. Or you can't use Point, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think the league would go that way. I think what would happen to begin with was the league would sit down that day with the team and say, okay, are you guys going to be over the cap by how much? Okay, so to get yourselves under the cap, just use the Leafs, for instance, you're over by 5.1. Okay, you can't dress Jake Muzzin tonight. His 5.1 will put you back where you need to be. He can't play. He has to be in the press box. Here's your path. Now you have to figure it out before the next game, or it starts to amplify the process of what we will dock you.
Yeah, they're like, then it's this player, then it's this player, then it's this player.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that player. I think it's going to be consistently going to be 5.1. If you're 5.1 over the cap, here's a player you cannot use. You know, you can finagle whatever guys you want to get to that dollar amount, but at the end of the day, you know, it's going to start costing you, I guess, to not be cap compliant. But I want to know, I think these things need to be structured, because guys like Brandon Pridham, guys like Kyle Dubas, and I'll use the old Bill Belichick in the NFL thing, Dave. You might appreciate this one. He used to go all the way to the edge of the rules and have them so the rule was bending to his will, and then the league would step in and be like, no, you can't do that. That can't happen. And they would make or word the rule around what Belichick was doing, because he used to be really good at getting to that point where it was borderline illegal. And then the league would be like, no, you cannot freaking do that. It's Just pull it back. Stop it. It was borderline cheating is what it was. And the league would step in. Think of Sean Avery for hockey context, waving a stick in front of Martin Brodeur's face. Is it illegal? No, but did it interfere with the spirit of the game? I guess. He wasn't doing anything. But, hey, I don't know. But that's where I'm at with this, right? Teams should try it. See where it gets you. See what happens. And at the end of the day, if you get a don't do it again, okay, we won't do it again. But there's so many teams that are screwed and pooched right now that something's got to give, and you will probably get your avalanche of moves. No pun intended. But it'll happen. It'll happen in September.
I would like to see it happen. I actually have to go step out for a quick sec. I'll be back in just a quick moment.
Ooh,
I'll be back in just a quick moment. Sorry.
You're good.
Right.
Covered that.
So we'll take Div out for now. Me and Dylan right here, right now, rocking episode 400 of Offside Hockey Talk. Absolutely crazy to be kicking in here, chilling out. We got Myron in the chat. Cheers to everyone over on TikTok. This is a live episode. We're just having fun. There's no structure. We're just talking about what's going on in the hockey world right now. It's amazing to be here, to do this for so long. The summers are hard. We usually have fun guests. We had Matt Lashoff lined up to come on tonight as well, Todd Vino, but it is the summer. People have plans. Things go awry. But we've had pretty great guests on. Hello, David Alter, Dave Jackson. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. But Dylan, the World Juniors back up in our world, which is pretty fun. Get to look at Mr. Matthew Nyes, Toppy Nebula, Ronnie Hervinen for the Toronto Maple Leafs. What are you thinking of these prospects? Sucks a little bit for the Russian prospect, Michkov, who's not going to be able to compete, not going to be able to be a part of this tournament. I wanted to see what he could do. Obviously, a lot of people saying he's rivaling Connor Bedard, but I find that very hard to believe. But, hey, you want the best on best for a reason because you want to test your mettle against what may be your best competition out there. And for Bedard, it is Michkov. But what do you think of the Leafs' prospect chances here? Ronnie Hervinen, obviously you got Mr. Toppy Nemela, a guy that I'm very high on. And then, of course, the guy we're all high on, and a lot of people we've had on this show throughout the summer are high on, and that is Matthew Nyes.
I can't lie. I don't watch too much, highlights on YouTubes of players and whatnot. But from what we've seen at the development camp, I'm very, very excited to see what Nyes will do in this tournament. He looked very dominant at Leafs development camp. Now, I know that doesn't say much because we don't have too many high draft prospects. So he's really the guy to watch. Toppy Nemela, he's Finnish, right?
They're both Finnish prospects. And shout out to Antti Luto. It's got to be some wild hour in the morning over in Finland right now, tuning in on TikTok for episode 400 of Offside Hockey Talk. Absolutely amazing. You're here, my friend. Appreciate you when you drop by my stream, Clark's stream, and everyone's stream. Anyone listening to this in post, when we do have this up as an episode, apologize for the scatteredness. This is episode 400. We're having fun. We're interacting with everyone across the spectrum, whether you're talking to us over on Twitch like Myron, whether you're talking to us over on TikTok or YouTube. 4 a.m., of course, I'll be on the great stream. I appreciate it. 4 a.m. over in Finland right now, and Antti Luto is up watching the 400th episode of Offside Hockey Talk. That is what means a lot to do this show. That's freaking awesome. Appreciate you, my friend. But yes, those prospects are finished. They will be on Team Finland. Ronnie Hervinen is on the first line for Finland, and Toppy Nemela is on the top defense pairing. Very pumped for those two players.
I will say for Hervinen, he might do well with Lambert. That will be exciting. See what they can do as a top line for Finland. I can't think of all the. I would say they'll probably be competing for bronze, maybe in the gold medal game. I'd like to see it, like to see some Leafs prospects in there, but I could my predictions would be top 5. Wait, Russia is in or out?
They're out. They're not allowed to be playing.
Okay.
They're not there. They're not
So
there.
I got Canada, Sweden, US, Finland, and I'm going to go Czechia.
Ooh, Czechia. All right. I got Canada, US, Finland.
Canada, US, Finland? All right. I think Swedish goalies are just a little too dominant. I know their forward group isn't too well, but definitely excited for these World Juniors to ramp up as some of these young Canadians are going to put on a show.
I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, it's 35 degrees. Why do we care about the World Juniors? I care about the World Juniors because I want to see some hockey right now, man. Going through a little bit of withdrawals. It's fun to watch it. The past couple of summers, too, by the way, everyone, we've had hockey into the summer. So I've kind of gotten used to it for the past couple of years, watching some hockey during the warmer months. So, again, now we get the World Juniors. I mean, I know we have the Ivan Holinka. I know we have the World Cup and all those different things, or the World Championships, whatever you want to call them. But I really do enjoy watching some World Juniors hockey. And now it's here in the summer. We'll take it. We'll take it because the next tournament will be here in Halifax, which I'm pumped to hopefully be a part of as a media member. So that will be something cool to look forward to. Working my way through the streams right now to get credentialed. So we shall see.
Cool. Maybe I'll have to make a trip.
There's going to be lots of beers to be had with gentlemen like Mark Seidel and guests on the show a bunch of times, Mr. Craig Button, and a few others. So I can't wait to sit down and have a couple wobbly pops with some of those guys. But I'm looking forward to the World Juniors. I agree with you. I think Canada's team is going to put on a show. Unfortunately, the backdrop right now for Team Canada and, Hockey Canada is not great. But these young men didn't have anything to do with that situation. So for them, it's you go in and see what they can do, see what these young players can do. They've worked their arses off to get here. They're not named to anything. They're not a part of any of the problems. So right now, I think you should just check them out, see what's happening, enjoy some hockey, and get tuned up because by the time this is done, we will be not too far out from training camp for NHL teams. Then you have the Dub City tournament, which the Leafs may or may not be in. These are things that you want to see. So you want to see these young players. Just super, super pumped up. So
one definite Canadian I am pumped to see, as we do our hockey card thing. Mason McTavish, watch out for him. He was in the Mem Cup. He was very devastated by his Memorial Cup loss. So look out
around on the ice as the last player for his team.
Look out for him to search for that goal this year.
Oh yeah, he's going to be beefing it up and getting ready. Speaking of beefing it up and getting ready, the Toronto Maple Leafs, obviously, we talked about the cap thing, but here the Leafs need to beef it up. They need to get Rasmus Sandin under contract. We've seen what happens with teams or with players, in the Maple Leafs when they wait to sign their deals. Everybody complains about the Wee Willie Nylander contract, but at the same time, guys, 6.9 for a 30-goal scorer, a 30-plus goal scorer, ain't too shabs. I like that contract now. But here's the thing, okay? Rasmus Sandin is not going to command the same type of money as Marner did, as Willie did, as JT, as Matthews, as Riley. It's going to be a one-year deal, I bet you, at probably 1.8, 1.9, because he didn't have the regularity last season as a regular player in the lineup. He also didn't get the chance to shine in the playoffs and all of these other things that Timothy Liljegren got to do when he jumped over him after that injury. So that's what the Leafs will say. The Leafs will use that and say, listen, prove yourself this year and we can pay you. The other thing too, guys, we got probably one more season of shitty cap raise, and then we're going to have a jump. The cap right now, if everything went the way that it was supposed to be, the cap should be at 91.5. We're, I think $8 or $9 million lower than where we're supposed to be. So think about that in terms of the Toronto Maple Leafs, where you would be able to
it looks
sign a couple
scary.
guys. They definitely. You probably still have a Zach Hyman. You
Yep.
probably would still have a Zach Hyman. But
Or
also,
Jack
Don't
Campbell.
forget Soupy.
guys, let Soupy go. I love Soup, but he at 5 years, $5 million. I would not do it. I wouldn't do it. I would have went 4 years, 4, and that was my max, and that made me uncomfortable.
He was looking for the bag. It's fine.
Easily go for your bag. I said that to you the other day. There's two things hockey players do. There's either you win the cup and go for the bag, or you go for the bag, and the other one is loyalty. And there's less and less of the second one, guys. It's all about going for the bag. Everybody wants to make that chunk and go right ahead. But I'll tell you right now, Jack Campbell is not the saver for the Edmonton Oilers. Jack Campbell will not have a good season with the Edmonton Oilers. I'll book it right now. And why do I say that? I love Jack Campbell. I love Soupy. This is not Soupy hate. I will tell you right now, what happens with Jack Campbell is he will start off half decently hot, but he gets injured. It happened both years in Toronto where he was anointed the starter. It happened in his tenure during time with the LA Kings. He gets hurt. He doesn't stay healthy.
It's probably because he doesn't speak up or something. No offense to Soupy, but
you look at this guy and you're like, okay, this guy is going to be the savior for the Edmonton Oilers. Everybody, all Leaf fans, we should have signed him. I wanted to sign him too. I did want him to be here, but not for that price point. Not a chance. But he's not going to be what Edmonton needs. He will get them to a certain point and then flounder. Because what happened when he came back from injuries? He wasn't the same Jack Campbell. Sorry to say. November Jack was November Jack. That was it. There was no other month that was even close to November Jack. There just wasn't. But that 1 month padded his stats so well that it looked good through the rest of the season. But if you broke it down on an individual month-by-month basis, and here's the thing. The Toronto Maple Leafs got into the playoffs. Out of the teams that made the playoffs, there are only 2 other teams below them that had a worst goals against throughout the season. And I don't mean goals against average. I mean had that many goals scored on them and still made the playoffs. They were right there, really high in the league for goals going in the net. So what is your goaltender's job? It's to stop the little puck, this thing right here, is to stop the vulcanized rubber.
I love how you pulled it out.
Not stopping the vulcanized rubber. You're not doing your job. And just because your team can outscore the other team, we see this with the Edmonton Oilers all the time, okay, doesn't make you a good team. It doesn't make your goaltender good because he's got 30 or 40 wins because your team's outscoring them 7-5 every night. We all know what happens in the playoffs. Guys, it tightens up. It dries up tighter than a nun's cooch, okay? That's just the way it goes. Yes, it's a 400th episode. We're having fun. Let her rip, boys.
It's fully raw here on episode 400. James is off the walls. He ain't his normal self, but he is speaking it clean for TikTok. So don't go away.
What's up? Nancy Luto is killing himself laughing.
Oh,
that
was.
You gotta have some fun, but you know what I mean. It dries up, man. It just dries up, and there's no goals in the playoffs. You know, there's a few games that get a little lopsided. But
Edmonton was the prime example of that, though, too, in the playoffs. They were it was just a battle, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yes, McDavid and Draisaitl can put your numbers up, but still doesn't mean you're stopping the puck.
Nope. And last time I checked, the one who scores more of these guys in the back of the net wins. Wins.
But I think Colorado was also in a similar situation, and that's why they're still going with a weaker tandem in net. It's because they can do that, and they're strong at that. Edmonton, I don't think it's as strong as Colorado.
Well, that's why I'm excited about the tandem the Leafs got now, guys. You got Matt Murray, which everybody is down on. Give the man a chance to play, by the way.
Revive him.
Reading on his past 2 seasons, what team did he play for? He played for the Ottawa rebuilding crap freaking Senators. Okay? Literally, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this, but everybody's bashing Matt Murray for having crappy years. What was the one thing, and John Trottier, the PA guy for the Ottawa Senators, or Wayne Scanlon, who covers the team, will tell you the same thing. They had no goal scoring in Ottawa. That's why they went and got DeBrincat. That's why they went and got other guys like Claude Giroux, because they had no goal scoring, no run support for their goaltending.
They had no defense.
They had nothing. All they had was
still
Brady
have no
Chuck.
defense.
But who do we hanging on? We hanging on the guy between the pipes. Well, I'm sorry, but if he's the only bona fide kind of guy you got with experience, and you got nothing defending him in front, I'm sorry, guys. And I don't hang it on Matt Murray for what happened in Ottawa. Is him getting hurt a thing? Yeah, but maybe that's because he's having to make crazy acrobatic saves or do things that are not within his comfort zone because he has to stop the puck because he doesn't want people jumping all over him. Now he gets to come to Toronto, a team that will give him run support and a defensive structure that is probably 10 times better than what Ottawa had. Because, guys, I don't know if you remember a name like Nikita Zaitsev. The reason he's not a Leaf anymore. My mind is blown when I watch people talk about this. They're like, oh, he played for Ottawa for the past 2 seasons, and he was a bad goaltender. Well, yeah, of course he was. It was freaking Ottawa.
His numbers weren't terrible either at times.
They weren't that bad. No, I remember.
Looking at the Ottawa team, that points us in a good direction. But I know we're all being optimistic here.
Oh my God! Breaking news.
Is that what you just saw on your phone? Hold on.
Max Pacioretty is out 6 months.
I was going to say, speaking about who's going to try and bend the cap, Carolina Hurricanes, right off the hot press.
Yeah, well, as soon as Patches is ready to come back, you know what's going to happen. Brent Burns will have a busted up foot or something. He'll go off as well. But yeah, no, I think Matt Murray will be fine. I think Ilya Samsonov has a giant chip on his shoulder and really wants to show people. And a lot of people say it's the immaturity with him. Well, there's a guy named Josh Hosag that was a part of our organization last year who everyone really thought he matured and took steps in those departments. And he credited the Leafs for that, their management, the leadership groups. So what do you think is going to happen with a guy like Ilya Samsonov coming to the Leafs, who apparently have some of those character issues? Well, I think the Leafs are going to work with him. I think they're going to bring him along. I think they're going to give him structure. Because there was a point in time where this guy was considered to possibly be the next Andrei Vasilevsky. He was in that vein. He was drafted in the first round for a reason. Now, Washington's given up on him, but maybe this is where the Leafs' big staff pays off with guys like Rich Kloon coming in, who's not going to take any crap. You have guys like Haley Wickenheiser there that she's going to talk to him and work with him. But just throughout the organization, it's going to be different.
With Samsonov, I think with the 1-year deal, he's going to have something to prove, and he's going to want to get more money. So he's just going to compete his little heart out and prove people wrong, prove Washington wrong. I can't wait for that game to come up this year when he goes back to Washington and dominates.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to love it. Because how long have we seen former Leafs go to different teams and then light us up the next time they play? And it doesn't matter if they were a fourth-line AHL plug. If they were in the lineup that night for that team, they light us up. Greg McKegg, remember him, guys? Played for, I think it was it was New York when he was with New York. Scored 2 goals against the Leafs. Of course you did. Or what's his deal? Travis Boyd when he was with Vancouver, when he got picked up on waivers. Scored against the frickin' Leafs. Just the way it goes. I want to see that narrative flipped. I want to see these guys start messing with their old teams. And I really want to see, because we're going to see Ottawa 6 times this year. So I really want to see Matt Murray stick it to the Ottawa Senators. I really do. And I want to see them stick it to old man Giroux too. I really want to see it. Oh, guys, I've got so much content ready for the prediction season videos this year. I'm loving it. I can't wait. I just can't wait. But I think if you look at what the Leafs did with their goaltending tandem, what they did is they mimicked what the Carolina Hurricanes did. So Carolina got rid of both of their goaltenders last year, brought in Freddie, brought in Rantna. Freddie coming off an injury. Nobody knew what he was going to be. And then on the other side, my guys, if you're on TikTok, I apologize. My phone just died. So TikTok is now gone.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Boom.
No.
But anyways, yeah, the Leafs did that. They tried that recipe. That's what they're trying here with Samsonov and Murray. I can't wait to see what happens. Can't wait to see Abe Kubel. So many people are high on him. And Calle Yarncroke. I hope we keep Kerfoot because I think Kerfoot and Yarncroke together, two players with the defensive acumen, both can take face-offs, both can play up and down your lineup, both can go on the penalty kill. Hi, I'd like that. I'd like a Yarncroke and a Marner, and then a Kerfoot and whoever. Start throwing Austin Matthews on the PK. Let's go. Let's get him a selfie. Let's do these things. Patrice Bergeron's old as dirt. Okay, stop giving him the damn trophy for the Lady Byng or the Selkie, whatever one he wins all the time.
It's both.
Yeah,
I can't even think.
Selkie.
Selkie,
right.
there we go. Divvy's here for a reason.
He gets
maybe he is here for a reason. All
It
right.
was O'Reilly, and then it was him. No, that's what it's been.
So listen, guys. I want to say thank you to both of you for stepping in tonight, having some fun. We're not done yet, but it's crazy to think the amount. Like I sit and I look at this show, Div, and you want to start something like this. And this is what the summer is about, man. Summer is weird. It just is because there's no hockey, and you're just grasping at straws to have fun. Usually, you have fun guests. I get to have you guys on, which is amazing. But doing a show, it's ever evolving. It's always changing. Like I started off by myself, and then I worked with Doug Ireland, which was the PA announcer for the Markham Royals. He swung through. Josh Egan. Sadly, he had some personal things happen, so he stepped away. We had Jen Sheffero on. Jamie Anasty was here. Clark Monroe's co-hosted a few episodes. Across the board, man, people coming in and coming through and having fun. Kyle Outridge, who runs the Junior Hockey Talk account on TikTok, Twitter, and on YouTube, a pretty prominent account. He was on the show for a while as well. Like a lot of people have sat in the chair and had fun, and then gone on and done their own things and grown their own brands. And cool for you, have fun with it. But it's allowed me to do a lot of fun things, like getting to drop a puck for the Markham Royals at center ice. That was fun, getting to meet Stu Hyman, Zach Hyman's dad, or becoming buddies with Spencer Hyman, which is Zach's brother. It's pretty cool the things you get to do and be a part of and just see. And the best part is having people on, because you look through and you go back through the episodes. Dylan, you're starting to dip your toe in with this, with guys like Alter and Dave Jackson and just Mark Seidel, people we've had on. But we've had people on like Ken Reed. We've had on, Mike Comito who wrote the Hockey 365 books. Like, across the hockey spectrum, it doesn't matter. Sportsnet, TSN, ESPN. Arda O'Cal was on the show. Come on. It's freaking awesome. Arthur Staple, like the man who covers the New York Rangers and New York Islanders. The name. Sitting down and just shooting the shit. Like, it's cool, man. It's just, and nobody usually says no. Everybody just tries to fit their schedule around each other, which is the coolest part about doing this. So, Div, the best way to start it is just start it.
Yeah, buddy.
100%. Man. Make a SoundCloud page for the first probably year and a half, 2 years of this show. I use the free SoundCloud page and only can have 6 episodes up. That's why if you scroll through Offside on SoundCloud, it doesn't have all 400 episodes. Because what happened was when I did my 6 hours of free time, I would have to bump the last episode and put the new one in and keep changing it up. And then we finally got Muskoka Spray Forum on board. They paid the hosting fees and were a great sponsor. So that allowed us to open the door and basically have the premium SoundCloud. And then I've just evolved from there to having guys like Manscaped stop by for a bit as a sponsor, DraftKings, breweries. It evolves into whatever you want it to be. And trust me, if you want to put in the work, it'll go wherever you want it to. And then the guys from Sticks in the Six, they laugh at me because they always say, podcast anywhere, anytime. Because I used to do podcasts in my work truck sitting there. I'd set up the computer, the camera, everything right on the dash of my truck and do a podcast. Didn't matter.
Wow.
Just how much you want to put into it. I'd come home on lunch break and do podcasts like Nick Sakavich, former commissioner of the NLL. At the time, he was the commissioner of the NLL. Fuck. Only time he had. So I rushed home on a lunch break and did the podcast. Those are the things that think about, and also it's about doing it consistently on the same night. So that way you can build an audience. And Clark knows more about that than I do. Yep. The Squadcast is great. This show has been probably every day of the week twice. It's been different hours, different times, but the one thing I can say is even if I've taken a break, it's been with regularity since 2016 that at least most of the season this show was going. But it does get tough because finding the right people to work with on a show is also hard.
Yep.
Because everybody's got their own schedule. Everybody's got their own things going on. So to expect someone to give up X night or X day continually, if it's not something that they feel they're in or building, most people drop out. And it is what it is. But I will tell you, Div, if you want to do it, I'm there anytime you want me on.
100% me too, buddy.
We will make the Six and the Star. I always call it the Sticks and the Six. We will make the Six and the Six show good. Might have to talk to the boys over at Six and the Six just so we don't bump heads with them because it's a very similar name. Well, yeah, that's long diatribe.
I started mine February of last year during COVID. My girlfriend was, I was talking to her about hockey nonstop, and she's like, "Why don't you start a podcast?" And I'm just like, that might not be a bad idea. And I just, I started doing one by one, just talking to the camera. And man, let me tell you, that's a little awkward, not gonna lie. And I just do it on Zoom, and there would be a lot of ums, and I've learned to slowly creep that out of my vocabulary. And then it was asking a couple people here and there, and it was good for a bit. And then it was hard to schedule it, and that was my problem. And then I was just like, James, if you need somebody, hey, I'd love to come back on, and I'm loving this. So count me in anywhere, anytime. I know that there are several people that have even reached out to me. Manny Q on TikTok, he's also looking to start one. So he's also somebody that might want to hop in with you on one. So
the best thing to do is just start one. Don't get intimidated about having all the social media feeds, up and running, or just pick one avenue. Like I picked Twitter. That's why my following is the biggest for me is on Twitter. That's where I've worked on. That's where I started. That's where I've grown. Obviously, the past, that's a year and a half, Clark has drilled me about getting on TikTok more. So that's where that's grown. But everybody that I've met or worked with or done things with, I've met them through Twitter. Everything's been Twitter. So it's fun, man. It's just fun. But just one thing I will tell you, like for the regular season, I have a show flow that I go through, and we go through that show flow. Dylan's got to see a little bit of it with the Bearded Blue Warrior, pack battles. That's kind of structured. Those will always be there through the regular season, but make sure you have a flow. So that way people know what to expect of where your show is and what your show is going to kind of be. these kind of shows, that's why I make sure to stress to everybody listening, it's all over the map tonight. We're just going to have fun. This isn't a structured show, but have a flow and then work within your flow. And then have whoever you're working with, make sure you have an open Google Doc, because that's what me and Dylan did for our interviews with Dave Jackson and David Alter. You have your general show flow in there, and then people can mix in their own stuff and know where we're going and just know what the tone of the show will be. But yeah, just start one, man. Just start one and then enjoy it. Enjoy it. Make it your baby, And it's only gonna get bigger and better and learn more things and become something if you make it. That's the best thing I can say. That's the Father James podcast advice. I mean, and listen, my show is not huge, but it's cool. It's cool to sit down with Terry Koshan or Joe Smith of The Athletic or Arthur Staple, and you ask a question and they go, you know what? That's a great question. I didn't think about that. Those for me I call them like crowning moments, because it means that you're in the same spectrum as them. You're in the same scope of what they do on a day-to-day basis and get paid good money for. Those are the payoffs for me. Getting to sit down and talk to people and then be like, oh man, that's a great question, or I didn't think of it that way. It's pretty cool.
I think that the way that obviously a couple interviews with somebody else, like co-hosting with James, has taken a bit, but that Dave Jackson one was pretty good back and forth. I like that one. And hell, the opportunity that may or may not have come out of it was
yes.
Cool.
Well, that's it too. You got the opportunity with Dave Jackson where he was like, yeah, just
let me know if you need. Yeah, let me know if you need anything in the revving world. I got my connections, and I'll let you know. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he literally told Dylan, he said, go out, ref Pee Wee for a year, ref Junior or the little ones for a year, and if you like it, come back after that year, email me, and I'll reach out to the right people and get you set up. It's like, but that's just how cool it is. That's why I like this, man. That's just why I like this. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But we rambled on.
Before you go, we might have somebody stopping by.
Stopping by tonight?
Yes.
My phone is dead. Let's do our pack battles, and we'll let that person jump in.
Okay.
All right. So I got myself a pack of Series 2 Hobby Upper Deck right here. I'm gonna
Divvy, you decide 1, 2, 3, or 4.
1.
All right, Divvy, 1 or 2? 1 or 2?
2. So sorry, guys. Give me just a quick second, all right?
All right.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This right here is pack battles. We do it every single week. I believe Dylan is still up in the season series. We will see what happens after this one here. Let's get rocking and rolling.
I don't know what I have. I gotta look. Oh no. My best card. I'm pulling it out.
Yeah. I got myself a marquee rookie, Ottawa Senators, Parker Kelly.
Mine is a second-year Kirill Kaprizov base. But hey, whatever.
Woo! I will take that one for the victory. All right. I will say for you, I want pack number 1, 2, 3. I want pack 2.
Pack 2.
And I only got one pack.
All right, let's see. I don't know how many Young Guns you.
Oh my god! No Young Gun again.
No Young Gun again. Me neither. But I got a canvas. Alex Martin.
Well, I guess I still win then. Marquee rookie. OPG. Maxim Shushko.
Hey, Great pronunciation.
Maxim Shishko. All right, so that may be 2-0 for me. We'll let the fans decide. We'll chop it up. Pack battles happens every single week on Offside Hockey Talk. It'll
Let's
be more
go.
fun throughout the season when the season is rolling. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're waiting for our buddy Div to get back.
Are we doing Bearded Blue Warrior?
We are doing our Bearded Blue Warrior right here, brought to you by our friends over at Boxing Rock Brewing Co. Check out the Puck Off Lagerdale, the big beer for the big game. All right, who is your Bearded Blue Warrior this week, my friend?
Nonetheless, then Captain Johnny Toronto says he's back to 100% since his injury last year. So I'm looking forward to 100% of Johnny because, you know, whatever percentage he was at this season looked pretty fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this year.
No, I'm looking forward to it too. My Bearded Blue Warrior this week. I showed you guys a video. My Bearded Blue Warrior is going out to that young baseball player who got beamed by the ball. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but just the wherewithal to understand that, yeah, I got beamed, but not be pissed off, but also to go check on the pitcher who threw that pitch and just give him a hug and tell him, hey, everything's all right. We're all right. Everything's good. I think that's pretty huge. You know, it's pretty awesome to see something like that. And that, to me, embodies the spirit of the Bearded Blue Warrior.
Absolutely.
Did see someone jumping in and out of the chat. There we go. Let's get him in here. Let's get this man in here. Episode 400 would not be 400 without Clark freaking Monroe. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, gentlemen. I'm sort of on time this time.
You're about the same time you were last time, brother.
Pretty much. Yeah, congrats on 400, buddy. It's I'm sure it's been a ride. I've been along for a few of them, and love watching the passion that you guys have, and always love the coverage and the takes. So pumped to be here on 400, even if it's just at the end.
No, we're just chilling. We were just talking to Divvy about starting the show. He wants to start the obvious 6 in the 6 podcast. Get that rocking and rolling. So we're just talking about, just do it, right? Just have fun. Just start it off and grow that baby, man. And you'll get out what you put in, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one thing I told Dylan. Dylan will remember this. I said, you clearly have the passion and the want to do it. And the step one is just doing it. Start it up, get it started, do one episode, see where it goes. And should be a blast. Anyways. What else are you guys talking about tonight? I saw the pack battles. I saw that. So that was good.
Pack battles are good. I got a couple rooks, so that might actually put me in the lead over Dylan for the first time this season. We got to figure out when we wrap that. We'll probably wrap it when the regular season starts, and then we'll do a whole season's worth of pack battles, and we'll cut that off at the playoffs and see who wins. You never know. No, not a big deal. Hopefully HFX Games comes through and sponsors that segment. That'd be nice. We'll never know. Never know. But we were talking about the goaltending situation for the Leafs. I was simply saying, obviously Matt Murray played for Ottawa for 2 years. Not a good defensive team. Not a team that has run support, because we were talking about run support for Jack Campbell. We're talking about that for, Smith in Edmonton. So we're just talking about the fact that, hey, he played there in Ottawa. They were not a great team. They were not a good team. And, they expected the world out of him. Now he's going to have run support. Now he's going to have defensive structure. Now he's going to have those things that may not make him have to make freak saves that lead to injuries. So I want everyone to give him a chance, because with a team like Toronto who can put up some goals and take the pressure off the goaltender at times, maybe Matt Murray shines through. He did a pretty good job with the team named the Pittsburgh Penguins when they were doing that for him. So maybe it happens again. And then Samsonov, I said he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove everyone wrong, but I used the Josh Hosang comparison. Hosang came in as a guy everybody was saying was kind of immature, need to really mature more and become more of a focused, professional. So those are some of the off-ice critiques for Samsonov, where they say, with the COVID stuff and just going ATV in and being reckless and young and dumb, maybe the structure the Leafs have will allow him to come along with his maturity and with that chip on his shoulder after getting, jet sent from Washington, maybe he comes out and has that thing to prove. But those are some of the things we were talking about, Clarky.
Yeah, that's probably the number one thing that I get when I talk to people or comments on videos and stuff is how the goaltending is going to be. And I think I said this to you guys last time we chatted too, but just like it's kind of hard to say. Like it's hard for us to sit here and predict how the goaltending tandem is going to be because we've never seen these guys together. We've never seen these guys in this system. Usually, when you're coming into a season like last year, we had Jack Campbell. We knew at least what he kind of was. We didn't know what Peter Mrazek was, but from his history, at least, we saw that he was a decent tandem goalie, and he's coming off a pretty good year, just with injuries. So hopefully he, was going to come back and have that effort again. This year, it's two guys who are kind of coming off of downsides a little bit, and who have both had pretty decent times in the past, but they're both coming off kind of a low, right? And that's really hard to predict. Are they going to stay in that low, or are they going to get back to what they were? And we talked about Samsonov having, all types of potential when he was coming out as a first-round draft pick. And he started off as a rookie with a nice little rookie campaign, but then hasn't really found it since. And Matt Murray was similar. He came out outside of the fact that he wasn't a first-round pick. He came out with not much expectations, exceeded expectations, set a new standard for himself, and everybody expected a .925 save percentage every year. Well, that's hard to live up to for the best of goalies. And he then had a couple injuries, and obviously there's a lot of personal stuff that went on in his life, and ended up having a couple rough seasons. We saw signs last year, though, that he can put up really good stretches. He can put together really good performances, and he can carry a team for a little while. So we're all hoping that that's the Matt Murray that we're going to get here in Toronto, or once the season starts. But it's hard for me as a non-goalie coach who's been seeing how he's been working to know, like, is this going to work? We don't know. And I think that's one of the biggest things, obviously, that we're all going to be paying attention to come day one of camp. I want to see some camp footage of those guys. I want to hear some reports from our boys, David Alter and all the boys who are keeping an eye on that stuff. So I'm really excited to kind of hear what that's going to look like when camp starts. And I'll honestly, past those guys, I want to hear more about how Shalgren's doing. I want to hear how Joseph Wall's looking. I want to hear about the depth, because those guys are going to be just as important as well throughout the season. We know that
Brad McKay.
Exactly. We got another one there. We know that Matt Murray's had injury issues recently. We've never seen Ilya Samsonov play more than 40 or 50 games in a season himself. So there are going to be times throughout the season where we're going to need to see Joseph Woll or probably Shalgren come in and play a couple of games here and there. So how are those guys looking? How did they respond after what happened last season? So there's a lot of question marks in the goaltending department. But I'm excited to see what happens with them. I'm hoping for the best. Obviously, we all are, and it should be a blast to see. And hopefully, it's the good. Hopefully, the answer is what we all want. Because if it is, I think we're in for a treat. Like I honestly think if we get the positive side of all this, we're all in for a treat. I think we're going to be happy with what happens.
I think so too. Dude, what do you think, man? What do you think of the goaltending? What is your gut telling you Leaf fans are going to get for a meal this year with those two goaltenders?
So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No,
were you talking to me?
I was cutting you off there. I thought that was for me.
Yeah, no, I threw it over to Div. I threw it to Div.
No, go ahead, D. You're up.
I am so excited to see these two guys in Leaf uniforms. I'm telling you right now, Murray, you've already talked about. He's had the problems in Ottawa. Ottawa is not a good team. Well, they weren't at the time at all. Defense was absolutely atrocious. Poor guy was being hung out to dry. He's coming to a team that's got better defense. It's a better team. And I'll give him a shot. We have him for how many years? 3 years?
Who?
2 years. Give him a shot. Let's see what he can do. Samsonov, we gave him a 1-year deal. Let's see what he can prove in that 1 year. I'm pretty sure if all goes well, they'll sign him to a 2-3 year deal. Who knows? Options are definitely limitless. I'm excited. I feel like it's going to go well, though. I feel like it's going to go very well.
I think it's going to go well. You got two guys who are highly motivated, okay? Matt Murray wants to show that he's still Matt freaking Murray. And then, of course, Samsonov wants to be able to probably get a bag and get some money. So he's going to have to play this season, do well, and then he's going to have to replicate that again with the Leafs or another team because you're not going to get a deal that's large off of 1 year sample size. Even Jack Campbell needed 2 years with the Leafs and injury riddled as well. Okay, a lot of people forget that. And I talked about this earlier. The Leafs were one of the teams that got into the playoffs who allowed the most goals of the teams who got into the playoffs. It was only Dallas, and I forget the other team off the top of my head.
LA, I think.
Might have been LA, but it was so Toronto was the third team there, allowing that many goals and still got into the playoffs. That's crazy. Not good. And we all sit and think, okay, we want Jack Campbell, but at the same time, like I said, November Jack propped up the rest of Jack for the rest of the season, in my opinion. If you look at the numbers month by month, numbers don't lie. His save percentage for those months were not that great. Yes, playing with a broken freaking rib is not easy. Probably shouldn't have done it, but he tried to battle, much like last year with him and Freddie both being hurt and battling and trying to play when they shouldn't have, really hampering, I think, their seasons. But anyway, for me, I look at it like this. Look at those two goaltenders we have now. They're both highly motivated. They both want to play for the Leafs, and they both want to put their best foot forward because they know what this fan base is like. And you've seen how fast everyone turned on Petr Mrazek. It wasn't even 5 games he got, and the fan base was done with him. Done. So these two guys are coming in saying, we can't shit the bed right off the hop. We don't get that luxury. And luckily with the Leafs, maybe they let in a couple bad ones, but they have the run support with guys like Matthews, Marner, Nylander, a rejuvenated 100% John Tavares. God, I can't wait until he's over a point per game this year just to stick it to everyone who talks so much crap about him. Cannot wait. So pumped up for that, by the way. So excited. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see Abe Kubel crack the 20-goal mark as well. That's another one of my little predictions. I think he's going to get time on the second line. I do. If Nick Robertson doesn't stick, he's a guy who's got a big body, can crash and bang, and maybe this year's Michael Bunting. So I'm looking for that one to be a smash-ass home run for the Leafs because he can play physical, but you put him up there with two guys who got skill, he could be what we've been missing in our top 6. A physical kind of guy who's not afraid to hit. I think he would actually be second on the Leafs in hits last season. So that says something right off the bat. I want to ask you all something, though. We all remember the Toronto Raptors winning the NBA championship. And how did they get there? What did they do with their star player, Kawhi Leonard? They did that little thing called load management. Now I look at the Leafs and I say, wow, you got all of these NHL caliber defensemen, all of these guys. And I know the Leafs like to stagger their contracts so they can move guys up and down through the AHL and all that stuff and still butt themselves very close to the salary cap. So that way, if they have to put someone on LTIR, they get the maximum space. But what I'm wondering is, you allow yourself to have so much wiggle room, maybe, just saying maybe, a guy like Jake Muzzin who takes a lot of hard miles, maybe you load management him throughout the season. Maybe he only plays 53 of the 82 games. That way you keep him fresher for when you need him. Because when has Jake Muzzin really burnt out or gotten hurt? It's been at the tail end of the season or in the playoffs. So we all know he's getting up there in age, but he's still rugged, physical, clears the front of the net, does all those things. So if you can load management that and augment that with a Mr. Ben who plays a physical game similar to Muzzin, not the same skill or hockey IQ, but can do those things on the physical side, you can augment your lineup where you allow Jake Muzzin to be load managed throughout the year and have him more healthy and ready to go. Or if he's nicked up, let him rest. That's something I think the Leafs may have to look at this year. And I'm wondering what you guys think of that, not only for Jake, but maybe even for JT. Because towards the latter half of last season, and I talked to someone in the Leafs organization about this, they said John Tavares definitely slowed down, and you've seen him skate. What's his name now? The guy who called Bunting a greasy rat. Why can't I remember? Curtis Gabriel.
Oh,
You've seen John Tavares skating like the Macho Man skate, right? Like the rigged, looking like a robot kind of pump skate, because he was done. He was out of gas. He was tired towards the end of the season. So maybe he's 100% the season because the training off season is great. But maybe you can load manage some guys with the way you augment yourself towards the cap, and you do what the Raptors did, and you have fresh superstar type players or good players on the back half of the season and into the playoffs. No NHL team really does it, but there's a team right here that's got a lot of resources and a lot of money that they can't use towards players. So, I mean, if you can figure a way to use your sports science department right, shout out to Jeremy Bettel, maybe that's the way you do it. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Because I think it would work, especially in Jake Muzzin case.
take it, Clarky.
I definitely love the idea. Try telling a hockey player to not play a game when he's somewhat able to play.
But you sell them on Jake Muzzin. Sell him very easily. Jake, when did you get hurt in the playoffs? Why? Because I was banged up all season. Okay. And what have I said to you? What have I said to you multiple times about Jake Muzzin throughout the season? What do I keep telling you he's holding? He's always has got his hand on that one hip. He's always trying to flex it. Last season, I tell you about John Tavares throughout the whole season. What was he doing with his neck all the time? Always this, always stiff, always rolling it, trying to get free. I said it all season long about those two. They were both not 100%. So if you can even load manage one of them, because if JT's fine and apparently all those aches and things are gone, then JT's JT, that's fine. But if you can take Jake Muzzin and just say, Jake, when have you been banged up? What happens to you? We need you in the playoffs. Hey, it's a Tuesday night in Columbus. It's a Sunday in Seattle. Hang back in Toronto. Spend some time with your wife and kids. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you when we get back. What's the harm?
I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. And the biggest thing, too, is that Jake Muzzin right now is that one guy that everyone's talking about. You talk about the Raptors. Everyone's talking about Jake Muzzin being that DeMar DeRozan type guy that they trade because his salary is like the only one that makes any sense really for that to actually happen outside of maybe William Nylander, who I just don't think it's not going to happen. But the other guy that I think of in that realm too, in this same conversation, could be Justin Hall, because at times we saw him losing a step to other guys as well. So maybe there's a little bit of a platoon going on here. And if they can get Sandin signed as well, that'll be important. But where you get the three old boys, and I guess Justin Hall's not super old necessarily, but you get the three old physical boys, Muzzin, Ben, and Hall, just rotating around, and you give them all nights off at the same time. I think it probably serves everybody a little bit better and maximizes the money that you are paying Jake Muzzin, because, like I said earlier, his contract right now is the only one that truly moves the needle in terms of opening up cap space. Kerfoot's is there, sure. Justin Hall to me isn't an option by himself. It doesn't do enough for the cap space to justify moving a guy who for $2 million is still a pretty valuable guy on a lower pair, especially even if it's just the third pair. You can't find too many solid penalty killing 6'5" right shot defensemen for $2 million.
No, it doesn't happen.
So I would say if you can maximize Jake Muzzin and keep him healthier longer, they have to look at it. I love the idea. And maybe they can convince him. I would love to see it happen.
I think conventional wisdom would prevail there. I mean, you just show him what's happened each season. And
Yeah.
he's not stupid either. He's seen it himself. He knows what's happened. So you have a healthy Jake going into the playoffs. That's amazing. Because everybody wants Muzzin gone because of his cap hit. But at the same time, tell me who in the Leafs organization fills the role that he has.
Right.
There is no one in the organization. So if you subtract that, what are you adding back that gives you that same value? It's not Sandin. It's not Hall. It's not Jordy Ben. It's not Victor Mete. So, no, it's not any of those guys.
It's Topi Niemela. It's Topi Niemela.
Yes.
It's not
No,
so
but-
anymore.
No, it's not. It's not. One
It's
thing
still, but
that
I'm
I
just
think
saying-
in the same sentence too, when people say they want to trade Jake Muzzin because of his salary cap, a lot of those people, and myself included, are like, yeah, but isn't Jake Muzzin the type of defenseman that everyone still says the Leafs need to go out and get? Like, he's that guy. Like, he is that guy. You're not going to find another guy like Jake Muzzin.
Minute
Available.
munching, shot blocking defense.
Yeah, available. And it's funny because it's the same thing. Like, we've been talking about it for a little while too, but there's a narrative that the Leafs still need to go out and add a defenseman. I don't think that's the case. I think last year we got into a situation where we didn't have all of our defensemen available at the top level of what they can do. And if we had Jake Muzzin at 100%, that hypothetical goes away. Even though we did play the Leafs did play as a team fairly well. Their numbers were better than they have been for a couple of years now. But if you had a healthy Jake Muzzin and Justin Hall combo and pairing, which was so good the year before, I don't think as many Leaf fans would be sitting here today saying, oh, they need to trade William Nylander for a defenseman. That narrative is 3 years old. Like, I feel like we need to get over that. That's not the same narrative as it is. I think if Jake Muzzin was healthy, you get Riley Brody, Muzzin Hall, Giordano, Liljegren, and you get Sandin and Ben as your extra guys. That's a really good 8. It's a really good 8.
It's a really good 8. But here's the other thing, too. You just mentioned a name that wasn't there all season either to pair up with Liljegren, and that's Mark Giordano. Yeah. We are now going to have an entire season of Mark Giordano within this system for 2 years.
Ew.
You know, but we're going to have him from the beginning, from the puck drop until the playoffs. And that's another guy that you might load manage, especially on the lower end of a contract. You could have him swap in and swap out when you have games that are not as important.
Or back-to-backs.
Or back-to-back, whatever it is. But yeah. I think teams really need to start getting on that train of certain guys just being ready. Because the playoffs are not just a battle of who's the best team with skill players. It's a war of attrition of who can stay healthiest the longest to keep going. And who can keep their guys on the ice the longest. Because you lose – listen, the 2 times we lost Jake Muzzin in the Columbus series and against Montreal, the team went poof, instantly, just poof, done. There was no jump back. So what does that tell you about what Jake Muzzin brings to the team? A whole hell of a lot. So,
and I think another name we got to keep our eye on for the John Tavares conversation is Tyler Bozak, and I'm just gonna wait for D to start smiling over there. No, I'm just saying. I wanted to say that just because I know D loves Tyler Bozak.
Well, if you're bringing back Bozak, you might as well get Kessel and see how much it costs to get JVR and just bring back the entire line and make them the 4th line.
We need a 4th line. We do.
Do it.
I'm more excited to see it healthy. You want to talk about healthy? I'm more excited to see a healthy Adam Gaudette, who's now got his stomach thing figured out, apparently. So he's energized and ready to go. So I want to see him healthy and ready to go with the Leafs. I want to see Abe Kubel. I want to see what Nick Robertson does, because everyone we've talked to through the draft and all that stuff keeps saying if you give Robertson a chance, he's a 25 to 30 goal scorer every day of the week. But he hasn't been given the opportunity on the upper echelon on a regular basis with the Maple Leafs. So I think he's a guy that the Leafs are going to end up one day, very soon probably, trading in a package, and he's going to go off to said team and go off and be that player. And we're like, well, shit, you're the next Brad Boyes. Because that's what Brad Boyes did, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't get the chance very much with the Leafs. Went off, played, and was, 30, 40 goal scorer? Then came back to the Leafs in the later years, and we're like, oh, we got Brad Boyes. But we got shit Brad Boyes at the end of his career.
That's first-line right wing Brad Boyes to you, sir.
I know, but I'm just saying, you look at it, and it's like, I want to see Robertson get a chance. We got Matthew Nyes coming. We got guys, man. We got guys throughout this lineup. And we haven't even talked about Simmons or Cliffy or all these other guys too, right? So
Dennis
it's something that's going to give to this team.
Callie Yarncroke. Don't forget about him.
Listen, I'm telling you now, the Leafs better not trade Kerfoot, because I want to see a defensive line of Callie Yarncroke, David Kampf, and Alex Kerfoot.
I think if Kyle Dubas is the general manager, Alex Kerfoot is about as safe. Like, as much as I've talked about for months now that I think we're going to trade him. I even talked about it last summer. It just seems like he's that one contract that's tradable. I don't think Kyle Dubas is trading that guy. Him and Justin Hall, I feel like, are safer than almost anyone on that team. I just don't think they're going to trade him.
Here's the reason why. He protected Justin Hall in the expansion draft, so he's got to keep him because it's his guy. He doubled down on him. But he traded to get Kerfoot, so he's got to keep him because
he traded to get Kerfoot, and he traded to keep Kerfoot by getting Jared McCann, who we all wanted to keep, and they lost Jared McCann.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
McCann,
I will never forget that.
If you kept Jared McCann, who is the player that would have had to go? There would have been somebody else that we loved that would have had to leave, right? So,
I will say this, is that I think one of my highest viewed videos on my TikTok channel right now is when they frickin' revealed that fish that said Alex Kerfoot. And I was like, they're picking Kerfoot. And I think I got like 400,000 views on that thing. And then within 12 hours, everyone came out and said that was fake. And I was like, that can't be fake. Come on. I look like such a tool now.
Oh, man, that was the worst because I thought Kerfoot was gone. I thought McCann was in. I was like, oh, man, McCann's going to be great. I was looking up highlights and stats and getting ready to do stuff. And I was like, this is amazing. And then, of course,
I sent Jared shots for nothing.
Right.
Dylan sending guys shots for being Leafs.
That's brutal.
Dylan, every single person you see at a bar signs with another team like the next day. Stop going to bars.
Hey, that is so true. Lawson Krause signed his extension.
There you go. You're getting people
paid. Everybody I see just needs to sign a contract.
Stop going to bars, Dylan.
Billy's getting people paid, man. That's all that matters. Getting people that money.
Lawson got paid. Holy crap. I couldn't believe how much he got paid. But, I mean, they do need to hit the cap floor, I guess.
Yeah.
No, you got to pay. Sometimes you got to pay to get there. I look at the Leafs this year. I'm excited, man. I know a lot of Leaf fans are tired, and they say, oh, it's been the same crap for so long. I'll give you this one. This will be only the second season, really. I can't even fully count last year because there was COVID pauses and different crap going on throughout the year. This will be the first actual regular season that Sheldon Keefe and Kyle Dubas get to have a season without any problems. There's no Babcock. There's no Lou Lamoriello. There's no – COVID's still there, but there's no COVID shutdown. There's no – oh, we might not be able to do this, or oh, we can't travel here, or this can't happen there, or we're shutting down on Sunday because Seattle tested positive. Those things aren't there. So this is the first full season the team will get. And remember, guys, the Leafs made improvements in a lot of key categories last year. That was the first season Keefe got to have the team in practice and do all the systems and put everything in place that he wanted to have as the head coach of the Maple Leafs. That was the first season, and they took strides. 115 points. It's nothing to snub your nose at. I know a first-round exit sucks, but we took the Stanley Cup champs at the time to Game 7, had them on the ropes in Game 6, and like Dave Jackson said, if it wasn't for that high stick, the Leafs probably would not have been out in the first round. It would have been Tampa.
We talking about 93 or last year?
We're talking about this year that just happened, my buddy. Just happened. Happened. Yeah. And if only a linesman, Dylan, as Dave said, if only a linesman had been down the ice a little bit to see an angle on that non-high stick, they would have been able to call it off.
Yeah.
That so sucks. And if you're wondering what we're talking about, go listen to Dave Jackson episode. We broke down a bunch of rules that people didn't know about. Because apparently a high stick with a cut is not the interpretation of the rule. It's an injury. So it doesn't have to show blood to cause a 4-minute penalty. That's cool. Didn't know that. So if I smack Clark in the face and give him a big hematoma with my stick, that's a 4-minute penalty. There doesn't have to be blood. Just has to be an injury.
The old Marty McSorley, eh?
Just double chop. Bow, bow. Guys, you know what? This is awesome. You know, we should have had the rest of 6 and the 6 on.
Pete was too scared to get on.
I know Pete won't come. Myron's hanging in the chat but won't come on.
Episode 406. You got to have the 6 and the 6 on episode 406.
We will do 406. No, it's got to be 416.
416. There you go.
It's got to be 416 because that works perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm not listening, and I'll hold my breath for 647, I guess, too.
11.
Don't hold your breath that long.
Listen, I can't wait for the season to kick off. Obviously, we're going to have more fun throughout the summer, more guests coming through and doing different things. Div, man, I appreciate you jumping on. Anytime you want to come on, you're more than welcome. Clark knows that already. I don't got to tell him.
Appreciate
He's
that.
basically like family, man. He can come in and get a drink out of the cupboard anytime he wants.
I'll start walking.
Listen, I got plenty sitting around. You want some?
I'll be there by episode 647.
There we go. And if it hasn't already been made official, Dylan is the co-host for this season, and for as long as he wants to be. So, Mr. Dylan Fournier, welcome to the chair, my friend.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure already, and I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful ride going forward.
Listen, guys, this one here has been all over the map. If you listen to this episode the entire way, Ed Papp, I'm talking to you. Chuck Farley, I'm talking to you. I know you guys listen to every episode. You send me pictures of you listening to the episode out in Florida, for freaking sakes. You're on vacation listening to Offside. That's cool as fuck. Auntie Luto, by the way, is listening right now.
Hey.
From Finland. Clark knows him. He was messaging us on TikTok up at 4 a.m. listening to the show. Amazing. Love the support. But this is fun, guys. 400 episodes. Crazy. Never in my wildest dreams I think I get this far, get to talk to the people I've talked to, or meet the people I've met, like Clarky, like Div, like Dylan. Dylan and Div, I've only met you probably for about a year now. Clark, I've known you for what, 3, maybe 4?
Yeah, a couple, at least 2 and a bit, 2.5, 2. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Longer. It feels, podcast married. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome, guys. Literally, this right here, this is Offside Hockey Talk, where hockey comes to talk.